If you're looking for some awesome movies or TV shows featuring romance with Friend's mother, you just click on the right video. Get ready to dive into these amazing ones that showcase unique connections. We're excited to share this ranking with you and would love to hear your favorites in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, so you never miss out on discovering great movies and TV shows again. Number 1. The Informers. Director, Gregor Jordan. In Los Angeles in 1983, the pretty boy Graham Sloan, John Foster, lives his life without having a solid plan. He wants a deeper relationship with his girlfriend Christy, Amber Heard, and is looking for the meaning of life. Tim Price, Lou Taylor Pucci, reluctantly goes on a short vacation to Hawaii with his father. The extremely vital old man wants to get closer to his estranged son. Meanwhile, celebrated new wave star Brian Mel Rado, arrives in Los Angeles. The singer, who is constantly on the sidelines due to his excessive drug consumption, is supposed to revive his career. He actually wants to renew contact with his ex and his little son, but he's still killing his time with weak-willed groupies. Number 2. In the House. Director, François Ozon. Frustrated teacher Germain, Fabrice Lucchini, gives his class the task of writing an essay about their last weekend. The results are uninspired and more than disappointing for the educator. But one work stands out from the mass of mediocrity. The essay by the introverted Claude, Ernst Umhauer, who always withdraws reservedly to the back row of the classroom. The boy writes that at the weekend he managed to visit his classmate Raphael at his house to study, something he had intended to do for a long time. With a high degree of observation skills and also a strong tendency towards voyeurism, Claude manages to captivate Germain with his text. Even his wife Jean, Kristen Scott Thomas, is convinced of the youngster's talent. Together they want to support Claude as best as possible, but the request to continue the essay seems to set unforeseeable events in motion. Number 3. Nobody's Home. Director, Denise Ochai-Katiksez. Fairy Day, whose world was destroyed by the sudden death of her father, has to take on the role of father in her orphaned family. The young woman now has to look after her helpless mother and 2 siblings. Over time, he sticks to this role and begins to act as a real head of the household. However, after a while, this situation drags each family member into an indescribable drama. Mother Nurjan desperately tries to replace her lost husband with her daughter Fairy Day, while her brother Ilker becomes uncomfortable with the responsibility being given to Fairy Day and begins to distance himself from his family. On the other hand, the youngest Ozgay's struggle with loneliness continues at full speed. Fairy Day makes a decision to get rid of this heavy burden, and this decision changes everyone's fate. Number 4. Wave of Crimes. Director, Grace Querejeta. Living in Bilboa, Lair, Maribel Verdú is a divorced housewife who leads a comfortable life. Everything turns upside down when her teenage son kills her father in a fit of rage. Determined to do the impossible to protect her son, she ends up unleashing a chaotic crime wave in the city of Bilbao. Meanwhile, the deceased's new wife, Paula Echevarria, and his implacable lawyer, Juana Acosta, try to hide the juicy corruption plot in which they were immersed. Added to this is the perseverance of the couple of Ertzaintza inspectors in charge of the case. Number 5. Bastard. Director, Matthew Mortelmans. Don is the 17-year-old son of a well-to-do middle-class family. 2 years ago, his brother died in a car accident for which he still blames himself. One day, his mother lodges a homeless teenager, who quickly endears himself to her. Don smells a rat and delves into the past of the newcomer who is all too eager to please. But at the same time, he is strangely fascinated by the young man, and in order to blow off steam, he participates in illegal nocturnal fights. Soon, the tension mounts in the household and a confrontation is all-nigh inevitable. Matthew Mortelmans is a rising star of Belgian cinema. At the 2013 BIFF, he is already awarded a prize for his short Camber Double, and in 2018, he even made it to the Academy Awards long list with Accomplices. His latest effort, Bastard, is a sultry Freudian thriller which doesn't pale beside Anglo-Saxon examples. Number 6. Giants Being Lonely. Director, Greer Patterson. In Hillsborough, a small town in the countryside of North Carolina, as their senior year comes to an end, the pressure to make it out alive seems daunting for high school seniors Bobby, Caroline and Adam. As they each discover what it means to love and be loved, they find themselves navigating the complex nature of human relationships, facing their own personal versions of neglect and abandonment. With baseball forming the backdrop to this coming-of-age story, three teens find themselves on a treacherous path towards adulthood. Number 7. Paint. Director, Michael Walker. The story of three art school grads realizing that their degrees and artistic ambitions haven't necessarily prepared them for the real world and putting themselves in positions to confirm that darkness and pain are necessary to produce great art. Dan Pearson, Josh Karas, has graduated from art school but nobody wants his art. It's not dark enough. He comes up with an unusual idea. He has to paint his mother. This is an indie of three friends from art school struggling to make it in the New York art world. There is some good skewering of the art world. The only problem is that I don't really care about these characters. Some of that is probably the no-name actors. A lot of it has to be my dislike of Dan's self-righteousness. Number 8. Someone Has to Die. Director, Manolo Caro. From the creator of The House of Flowers, Manolo Caro, comes Someone Has to Die, a miniseries set in the 1950s in Spain. The action follows Gavino, a young man who has returned from Mexico to reunite with his Spanish family after 10 years away from home. But he will not arrive alone. His friend Lazaro will accompany him on this journey that will change their lives. Wrapped once again in the most Spanish and traditional tradition that can exist. However, these ideas will go against everything that his father has prepared for him. It will be then when the different setbacks begin to arise, which will be added to the unexpected marriage arranged between him and Cayetina by his family. Added to this are the incessant rumors that exist about the close relationship that Gavino and Lazaro share. Number 9. A Higher Law. Director, Octave Kalaru. The movie tells story a woman torn between freedom and faith as she strays from a suffocating marriage, in a small town in Romania. Caterina, Melina Manovici, a beautiful 38-year-old religion teacher and wife of the local priest, has a new pupil in her classroom, her 16-year-old Iuliu, Sergius Maria. He's a problem child and he looks at her in a special way. Caterina tries to keep him under control, but she loses her own control in the process. After she sleeps with her student, he starts blackmailing her by confessing to her husband, the priest. Number 10. May December to January. Director, Mac Alejandre. A story about a single mom and a career woman. She is aware that her son is gay and accepts this wholeheartedly. What breaks her heart, though, is finding out that they are both in love with the same man. Paul and Migoy are 19 years old and have been close friends for a long time. However, Paul has more feelings for Migoy, because he is secretly in love with him. The conflict begins when Migoy falls in love with Paul's mother Claire, who was abandoned by her husband and has never been in a relationship again, focusing on raising her son. Claire and Migoy start a relationship on the sly, so a love triangle is created that puts everyone in danger.